Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to my small backyard vegetable garden here in central Victoria. After 3 days of extreme heat, our weather has cooled down to a normal temperature for summer, if not a little on the cooler side. And we have shifted a lot of the houseplants out here to this cooler end of the veranda for a good hose off, some sea salt, and some things need potting up while others just need a good rest outside. Just before our very hot days, I threw this seed here in this tub. It is the black leaf dahlias, and so many germinated, but I did the rookie mistake of not putting anything over it once they had come through the soil, and I had a blackbird visit and dug most of them up. I am very keen to have a tidy up of my potting table. I have a few things that have just been started, some that have been on here way too long, like some tomatoes I am waiting to get planted at the primary school. I wanted to get through those hot days, along with some of the bush beans that I pre-soaked, and some went in for succession planting in my veggie patch, and these others in the pots will go to the school. These purple climbing beans are also going to the school. I love watching them burst through the soil like this. It is amazing how much growth they put on in a day. After something nibbling off the tops of my first sowings of cosmos, I have thrown a bit more seed in the same pots. I have excess pots of walking onions that have dried up and will be going to the school also. And here are the tomatoes, the Dancing with Smurfs, and the indigo rose. And after finding a packet of Brussels sprout seeds that are way out of date, as an experiment, I decided to soak some seed and see how they'd go at germinating, which means I am getting on with my seed for this year's Brussels sprouts. I'm not sure what to do with these though. I have 2 leftover Tasmanian chocolate tomatoes that will be going to the school also, and I still have these vanilla marigolds that I really need to get planted out. So before I start sowing anything else, I'm going to gather up all the things that I need to take to the primary school and get them in this tray so I can get down there and get them planted. Hopefully they will be settled in before school returns, and I will have a bit more space on this table for some autumn sowing. I'm very happy to be making use of these few leftover tomato plants, some extras that I did plant in my garden just a couple of weeks ago. Between the watermelons have taken off, so I don't think there will be a problem with getting them to grow. These beans are looking absolutely gorgeous. That is one thing I will be missing off this potting bench, but I do have those bush beans that will be coming up also. This is a good amount of plants and should fill up the garden beds. I think I might grab 1 tray of nasturtiums also. I have a few more packets that I will be soaking, so they won't take very long to get going. It won't be long and these will be popping through the soil also. It has been a week since our 3-day heat wave, and I've come out this morning as usual with a cup of coffee in my hand, and I was just going to come up and do some watering, but I thought I would film a little bit of footage just to show you how things have recovered. Really, there was no great damage, but how things have sprung back with these cooler mornings is really quite wonderful. And in fact, all of these things growing on this arch, the pumpkins, the tromboncino, the squash, the zucchini, the luffa, the purple climbing beans, they have loved the heat, and I think the corn has grown a good foot in this last week. Along here in this garden bed, I had some random pots of capsicums I just put into terracotta pots, and I've sat them here just for ease of watering. The volunteer pumpkin is going a bit nuts, and the basil is absolutely loving the warmth. I've taken all the covers off these rock melons and they are looking very happy. I love these orange flash calendula. They would have to be one of my favorites, and I'm so happy that I'd planted a couple there beside the garden bed. I actually wish the ones in the terracotta pots I'd done the same thing with. The Japanese climbing cucumber is just about to the top, and I have been pruning some leaves off it, especially inside the archway. And the first purple beans, I did not leave them there after seeing those. They were quickly eaten after my cup of coffee. I did prune some overhanging raspberry canes just to make life easy, and I am always pruning tomatoes. These vanilla marigolds are looking absolutely beautiful. Still no ripe tomatoes, but we wait and hope. There are beans though, and even though they are tiny, I ate them down very happily. I love how these beans fill this arch. And some baby cucumbers, fingers crossed. The redskin capsicums are looking great. I'm hoping they're going to get a little bit bigger than that, but there are plenty of fruit. As for this row of capsicums, Mrs. Possum has decided that she thinks that the capsicum leaves are a delicacy, and I came out one morning to find 2 of the taller capsicums stripped of leaves, so I have had to net these all along here. She's not at all interested in the eggplants and just likes the leaves of the capsicums. So I'm putting a net over just to deter, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep netting it because I have planted the last 2 of the tromboncino plants on the mesh at the back. The warm days have spurred on the production of fruit on these capsicums. It's mainly on the older, larger plants, of course. I am very excited to see those candy canes and new growth coming through now. They've been netted. She still does climb down and tries to get on the net. You can see every morning the net has sunk down a little bit. Lots of the long sweet yellow. It's very interesting because one of the ones she did strip of leaves was the Mad Hatter. So I'm wondering if it was a little spicy. And after a visit to Bunnings, I found 2 pots of this rhubarb pink champagne marked down for $2 a plant. I quickly grabbed these because this was the other variety that I was going to try if I didn't buy the Parker's Red. Once again, I am hoping that the claims on the label all come true.